We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
All right, check this out. The doors to Gresham's first ever Trader Joe's are set to open here in less than 5 minutes, right at 8 o'clock. The 11,000 square foot store is located on Northeast Burnside, and as part of Trader Joe's Neighborhood Shares program, any unsold but still perfectly good product will be donated to a local nonprofit every day of the week.
Well, coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the latest on the deployment of the National Guard as local lawmakers demand answers on how federal agents deal with protesters. Plus.
Oh yeah, another day, another record broken by Taylor Swift. This time Taylor broke 2 big records with her big new album. We're gonna have that story for you coming up in our 8:30 half hour. Stay with us. Sunrise streaming live at 8 o'clock begins in 3 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, good morning. I'm Corey Johnson. A 3-judge panel heard arguments yesterday over whether President Donald Trump can deploy the National Guard to Portland, but made no ruling. The court is weighing whether to uphold a lower judge's order blocking the deployment. Now, Oregon argues the president would be overstepping his authority, while the Trump administration says the judge improperly second-guessed the president's military decisions. Now, over to Rod for a look at weather.
Thank you, Corey. Good morning on a Friday. We're watching rain, and so far, most of the action has been near I-5 off to the east side, much drier to the west side and the coast. But not lightning attached with this, but some heavier downpours that are now making their way up through a good chunk of Clackamas County. Sandy, you're now starting to get wet. Welch's, you are now starting to get wet as well. We had some rain in downtown Portland a couple hours back, so our streets are wet. 52 is the number. With rain at times arriving from the south, temperatures won't do much today. There's a thunderstorm chance, no storm chance tomorrow, but rain at times Saturday.
Ninth Circuit is known to be a bit of a hot bench when it comes to very important or of the moment questions.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals hasn't yet ruled on whether President Trump can deploy the National Guard to Portland, but if the three-judge panel rules in favor of the president, deployment could happen right away. We'll take a closer look at what that might look like coming up. Plus,
I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace.
A peace deal is approved by both Israel and Hamas. The next steps for both sides and when the long-awaited release of the remaining hostages could take place. Then,
every turtle has a different personality. Yes. Generally, though, turtles are very curious.
the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife working to protect the northwestern pond turtle. We're going to take a look at the conservation efforts in a brand new series we call Oregon is Worth Protecting. Also coming up.
Well, Taylor Swift once again shattering records. We take a look at the two major milestones her new album just hit. The 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now. But first, we're following breaking news right now of a shooting in southeast Portland this morning. It happened just after 7 a.m. near southeast 127th and Stark. Now, we've reached out to Portland police for more information on that situation that you're seeing, and we're still waiting to hear back right now. A KGW team is on the way to that scene, and we'll bring you the latest coming up on Sunrise. Well, good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Corey Johnson in for China Green today.
And I'm Drew Carney. Rod Hill also with us, standing by for a look at this weekend's weather.
Yeah, good morning. Let's get you through your Friday morning. We've been looking at rain coming south to north up through the area. We still have rain in the forecast at times today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So far today, not all of the rain, but nearly all of it has been near I-5 and over to the east side. First big chunk of really heavier rain is sitting in Clackamas County right now. So far, no lightning with any of this, but we did have lightning down around Roseburg earlier this morning. So there's Sandy. You're getting some moderate rain now starting to move up into your area. Light rain just outside of Canby. And again, the track of this is mainly up to the north along the east side. Salem has seen some rain this morning, but currently it's mainly dry in the city, 51 degrees. And Portland has seen some rain this morning, but currently in town we are mainly dry. There's the cloud deck covering up Mount Hood looking off to the east. Temperatures won't do much today. 52 right now. We may or may not get up to 60. And remember, there is a scattered thunderstorm chance that we're watching. And you can make the argument with more rain on the east side today, maybe that opens the door for some sun breaks out in Hillsborough, for example, and a better chance of a spotty storm later today. Lots to keep an eye on. That's your forecast for now.
All right, thank you, Rod. Let's get to our top news headlines here this hour, and we start with the latest on the protests at the ICE facility in South Portland. This was the scene around the facility last night, right around 11 o'clock. Our crew covering the protests saw two people taken into custody by federal agents, although we don't know why. Meanwhile, Portland police say they made two arrests last night near the ICE building. One person was arrested for harassment. They said the other was arrested for a warrant. Portland police also told us they now have made a total of 47 arrests in the South Waterfront area since these protests started back in June.
Meanwhile, an appellate court hearing was held yesterday to determine if President Donald Trump can send National Guard troops here to Portland.
Now, the judges in that appeals court have not made a ruling yet, but Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has more for us on what would happen if they rule in favor of President Trump.
We've gotten some clues on what to expect from Chicago, where troops have been deployed and are predominantly protecting federal buildings. They could also be used to protect people like ICE officers as well. Now, we're waiting on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to learn more about their determination here. And their ruling really stinges on whether the Trump administration can send National Guard troops to Portland. President Trump tried to deploy 200 Oregon National Guard troops a couple of weeks ago, but that was blocked by a judge. 2 days after President Trump called up the National Guard, Brigadier General Alan R. Gronewald, the head of Oregon's National Guard, addressed lawmakers, saying troops could be trained in crowd control but couldn't make arrests.
That Oregon National Guard men and women they serve two purposes. One, to defend America, and two, to protect Oregonians. And so by serving in this mission, they will be protecting any protesters at the ICE facility. That's my desire.
President Trump says everything his administration is doing is lawful, though in Illinois, a U.S. district judge granted a temporary restraining order against the National Guard that assembled this week, saying she found no rebellion in Chicago. And here in Portland, Grunwald says it's possible for any mission to be shortened if the National Guard is allowed to be deployed, though he says the longest they could be deployed is for 80 days. In South Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
And make sure to stay with KGW for the latest updates surrounding Portland's ICE facility and the National Guard. Look for the latest updates on KGW.com, on our mobile app, and right here on our free TV app, KGW Plus. Oregon State Representative Hoa Nguyen has died after a battle with cancer. Nguyen was the eldest daughter of Vietnamese refugees, attended St. Mary's, and later graduated from Portland State. She was also a teacher and school board member and was first elected to the State House in 2022, representing an area that stretched from East Portland to Damascus. Nguyen was 41 years old.
Meanwhile, a crash between a car and a TriMet bus sent one person to the hospital. This happened last night at 79th and East Burnside. Portland Fire and Rescue helped the driver get their door open and get out of the car. They were then taken to the hospital, although we don't know their condition this morning. We do know that no one was hurt on the bus.
Vancouver's Discovery Middle School was briefly put in what's called secure mode Thursday morning. That's because school officials say a student reportedly threatened staff and may have had a knife, prompting police and district officers to respond. Now that student was on a bus near the school, and officers quickly separated them from other students. Authorities say no weapons were found. New this morning, Washington County's burn ban is officially over. Fire agencies lifted that ban at midnight, pointing to the recent rainfall in our area.
They'll feel better, Rod, about lifting that ban if you bring more rain to the area today. What do you say?
Yeah, rain at times today, rain at times tomorrow, rain times the Sunday. Geniuses on that committee. All right. We've got Doppler radar right now. So far, what I've noticed is the rain track has been mainly near I-5 and off to the east, and modeling supports that continuing. Now, don't misunderstand me. There is a scattered shower threat everywhere on the west side up into the Cascades today. I'm just saying that in terms of these big chunks of rain, they're going to more often than not be channeling near I-5 and over toward the Cascades on the east side. Lightning strikes have been coming and going down around Roseburg, but so far nothing north of that in terms of lightning. We are carrying a thunderstorm chance in our forecast today all the way through this evening. Thought we might get something in these heavier rain areas now blanketing much of Clackamas County, but so far it's just been rain. There's the rain now moving into Sandy, and this could hold together and clip Canby and up into downtown Portland in the coming half hour or so. Futurecast takes what we just showed you and channels it again mostly near I-5 and off to the east side during the morning hours. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Loa. Now, of course, we're out in Washington County with mainly cloudy skies showing up, light winds, 52 degrees. The east side, Camas in a spot that probably is going to get some rain here in the next half hour plus with that rainy area I just showed you. That's some pretty early fall colors from the Camas Meadows Golf Course, and the clouds and rain sitting to the south. Temperatures generally low 50s, few spots, well, no, nobody's warmer than that, right? 53 downtown Portland, 50 in Oregon City right now. We have 50 in McMinnville, and again here it's low 50s and some 40s, 49 Dallas and out into Silverton. Weather map today, not much rain out across the far east. In fact, generally partly sunny in 70s. But we talked about the rainy chances and thunderstorm chances here on the west side. Rain at times through the weekend. We get back into some dry weather starting Tuesday of next week. Back to you.
All right, Rob, we also want to remind our viewers about the Broadway Bridge closure in downtown Portland. The closure starts Monday, and it's going to last for 6 months. Now, this covers all vehicles trying to cross the bridge. Again, no vehicle traffic for 6 months starting Monday. Crews are going to replace the bridge's decking, which was installed almost 2 decades ago. Portland streetcar, by the way, will also be rerouted, but they're going to keep the south sidewalk of the bridge open for pedestrians and cyclists.
If we lose the species, that would be really sad.
Coming up after the break, a look at how the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife is working to protect and track northwestern pond turtles. Then later.
A ceasefire is now in effect in Gaza, and President Trump is planning to head to the Middle East for the peace deal signing and return of the remaining Israeli hostages. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest developments coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Well, we're continuing to follow breaking news of a shooting in southeast Portland this morning. It happened just after 7 a.m. near southeast 127th and Stark.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from the scene right now. So, Thomas, what have we learned so far?
Yeah, well, guys, we learned that one person was shot and taken to the hospital, directed by an ambulance. That person is going to be okay. This isn't a critical incident or anything like that. It's not a life-threatening shooting, but I want to show you just a little bit of what we're seeing here on southeast 127th and Stark. You can see one lane here is blocked on our side of the street. The other side, police are also monitoring and working over there. Now, we heard from a witness who tells us that they heard the shooting and it happened on the other side of the street. They say 2 shots were fired. Again, this is according to a witness. It has not been confirmed by police. They say that one man was hit in the leg and then ran across the street. That is the man that we are believed taken to the hospital. Again, police telling us that one person was shot and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Traffic is moving in both directions here on Southeast Stark, so really not a problem yet. Just after 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll see how long police are out here. If this lane here continues to be closed, that could be something that becomes a problem a little bit later in the morning as well. But again, with it being Friday, we'll see how strong that commute is. Again, one man taken to the hospital in this shooting with non-life-threatening injuries. We're waiting more information as well from Portland police about this, what led up to it. We don't know who the victim is. We don't know what led up to the shooting. That's all information we'll bring you as soon as we get it. Guys.
Schultz, Thomas, live for us this morning out there in southeast Portland. From southeast Portland, we turn to our Chehalem Tasting Room Skycam. Out in Sherwood, we see the sun trying to peek through the clouds, but the clouds are dominating the weather story here as we start this Friday morning. Rodney.
Looks like it's seeing rain on the far distance as well. I mean, to me, that looks like, and it is raining as you look off to the east, which is the direction this camera is looking at across the valley. Yes, Drew, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You see it now too? I can see it too as you look off to the east there. It is rain. It is rain, Rod.
Thank you.
The rain is here.
Yes. Well, that's what I do, you know. I'm supposed to know rain when I see it. All right, here's a look at a low offshore. This is our engine today. So this low today gives us south to north wind flow. For us, when rain comes moving up the inland areas from south to north straight up the valley, that's often instability that can lead to thunderstorm development. So we're watching a thunderstorm chance today. Tomorrow the low weakens and pushes inland. The flow switches to the west, no longer a storm chance. So the only day that you might hear some rumbles of thunder would be today. So now we've had lightning strikes down here around Roseburg, but so far nothing farther to the north. This area of rain that was heavy that I thought maybe would be a lightning producer turned out not to be. It's this area where there's now moderate rain falling in Sandy crossing 26 here. And this is starting to weaken somewhat. So if nothing changes here, it would give the threat of some light rain coming back into downtown Portland in the next half hour. So Futurecast keeps most of what we're seeing currently on the east side of I-5. Later today builds in some scattered showers. This evening, it shows even as late as 10 o'clock these heavy rain cells scattered or spotty in nature that could in fact be some thunderstorms. So we'll see. Now you wake up tomorrow morning, no longer a storm chance. This will be passing rain at times. Today everything comes up from the south. Tomorrow everything comes from the west. And Sunday everything drops in from the northwest. Now here's Sunday. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. Dry early morning. But then look what happens. That steady rain developing in the morning through the noon hour. This is 5 or so in the afternoon. So what this is showing, and other models back this up, is that much of your Sunday could be steady rain. So that's going to be the wettest of the bunch. Rain totals anywhere from 1/2 of an inch to about 3/4 of an inch still showing up on our rain map, and still banking on some decent amounts in places like Prineville and even out toward LeGrand. Okay, Chinook Woods Casino Resort camera. The coast could actually be one of the more dry parts of our state today. A scattered shower chance, yes. It just doesn't look like there's much rain along the beach today. So if you're going to the coast, maybe it turns out to be a pretty good day overall. Temperatures are low 50s on the west side right now, 50 in John Day, but 37 out in Burns. And here are the forecast numbers for the valley. Upper 50s to about 60, rain at times, possible thunderstorms. If anything, more rain today overall east of I-5, more scattered and less total rain west of I-5. And ditto those remarks up into southwest Washington. 7-day forecast numbers. By the time we get to Monday, it's sun breaks and scattered showers, and then a forecast change now shows all dry weather with sun and east winds Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Hey guys, I'm done. They're on the other side of the studio. I'm done with my forecast. It's your turn.
Can we keep that up just for a second? Can we keep that up?
Are you coming over?
Yeah, just to show. Yeah, we were not too far away, and now I got to go back. So here we go. Roll it, Brian Matthews.
Come on. Oh, good, you made it.
Yeah, now here back with Corey. This morning, we have the first installment in a new KGW series called Oregon is Worth Protecting. I'm a little bit out of breath, so I'm going to ask you to continue.
Okay, I'll do it. We're partnering with the Oregon Department of Fish.
I thought you were going to do it.
I was. Now I'm out of breath. You put me on the spot. Anyways, we're partnering with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife to bring you stories about the plants and creatures living right here in Oregon.
Want me to go again?
I do. It's your turn now.
Okay. I'll tell you that Tim Gordon is going to kick off this series with a look at a very special species of turtle that's native to the state.
On a beautiful piece of land in the muddy valley of Yamhill County, Susan Barnes with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife is suiting up. She's a regional wildlife conservation biologist.
And I focus on non-game wildlife, so species that can't be hunted or harvested, and that really is my passion.
Her passion here has to do with this pond and what it holds.
So the northwestern pond turtle is one of Oregon's 2 semi-aquatic native species, and they are species of greatest conservation need in our state wildlife action plan.
In Oregon, the northwestern pond turtle is just a step away from being considered threatened or endangered.
So this is one of the species that is a priority to Oregon, that if we lose this species, that would be really sad.
That's why the work happening at this pond is critical. Barnes set up a trap the night before our visit.
1, 2, 3, there's at least 6 in that trap. Well, let's go find out.
And when she went out, trudging along the muddy pond bottom to get it.
Oh my gosh, it's the mother lode.
It was full of turtle.
20 is my guess. We know there are a lot of turtles here. We've marked over 500 unique animals here.
But despite the number you see here, the turtles are facing an invasion of invasive American bullfrogs. The frogs can eat baby turtles.
We know bullfrogs will eat anything they can get their mouths on.
And that's exactly why the work happening here is so important. This pond and the land around it are part of a carefully managed conservation site. The Yamhill Soil and Water Conservation District, which owns the land, works with state biologists to protect native wildlife. The turtles rely on the surrounding upland areas too, shaded by white oaks and native vegetation, where many trek each year to burrow down and spend the winter months.
Often I talk to folks who see a turtle moving away from the water up into forested habitat, and they think, oh no, the turtle's in trouble, it's not in the water.
But the turtle is on a mission, heading where it should be. If you put it back in the water,
they have to do it again, and it's a perilous journey, and it makes them put at risk at getting run over by cars or being collected illegally. So if you were to find a turtle in the wild, move it off the road or trail, but point it in the same direction, and then report the turtle sighting.
Another big thing we can do to help is to not keep a northwestern pond turtle as a pet. They belong in the wild. Also, don't buy, sell, keep, or release invasive species like illegal snapping or red-eared slider turtles. They can quickly take over and ruin habitats.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Today's count here is good, although most have already been tallied and marked over the past few years.
Aha, this is a new turtle. Yay. Okay, so we're gonna go release these turtles.
A positive sign, the population here, although challenged, seems to be surviving.
Every turtle has a different personality. Yes. Generally, though, turtles are very curious. I think they're intelligent.
Creatures that are easy to appreciate while letting them be where they belong. It's part of Oregon, worth protecting. Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Worth protecting for sure. Now, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife has some great resources that you can find online to learn more information, and you can find that link to this story on KGW.com right now.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
The Israeli military says a ceasefire agreement is now in effect in Gaza after Israel approved the first phase of the deal.
That's right. President Donald Trump says he plans to travel to Egypt for that signing ceremony. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest on this story from Washington, D.C.
Smoke is fading over Gaza, relief rising for Palestinians and Israelis, as the Israeli military announced a long-sought ceasefire is now in effect, and its forces moving to new deployment lines within Gaza, part of the first phase of a peace deal the Israeli government and Hamas both approved and President Trump advanced.
I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace.
The president planning to travel to Egypt this weekend for a formal signing and the return of the remaining hostages, 20 believed to still be alive after 2 years in Hamas captivity.
They should be released on Monday or Tuesday. Getting them is a complicated process.
And there are even more complicated steps ahead, including a requirement for Hamas to disarm and leave power, still an open question.
They got to be written out of the future of Palestine.
Cautious optimism on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers in both parties gave credit to President Trump.
What we need is bipartisan support for the peace process, which will be fraught with obstacles, make no mistake.
The biggest challenge, how to bring Gaza back from the ruins and secure a peaceful future. President Trump adamant no one will be forced to leave and that neighboring nations will help rebuild.
We're going to create something where people can live. You can't live right now in Gaza.
The U.S. military preparing options to send as many as 200 troops to Israel to ensure stability and the flow of aid into Gaza, according to two U.S. officials familiar with the planning, who noted there will be no American boots on the ground in Gaza. As for how this deal came together, Secretary of State Marco Rubio pointed to some key turning points, including President Trump securing the backing of leaders of Muslim-majority nations at the UN General Assembly last month, getting Israel's prime minister to sign on in a White House visit, and delivering a final ultimatum to Hamas. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
My view is this Trump unilateral action is an abuse of executive authority.
Coming up in our next half hour, Oregon senators are pushing the federal government for answers about how federal agents are dealing with local protests. Also coming up at 8:45.
As a Plains Indian, roses represent resilience, growth, beauty, strength.
We're talking about combining art with culture. We'll have a look at the new murals decorating the outside of Moda Center.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Corey Johnson. Vancouver's Discovery Middle School was briefly put in what's called secure mode on Thursday morning. That's because school officials say a student reportedly threatened staff members and may have had a knife, prompting police and district officers to respond. Now, the student was on a bus near the school and officers quickly separated them from other students. Authorities say no weapons were found. Now over to Rod for a look at your forecast.
Thank you, Corey. Good morning. Kind of two different weather worlds this morning. Weather world number one, if you live west of I-5, you haven't had much rain. If you live east of I-5, you've had a couple of different shots of rain come up and hit much of the valley. Here's the latest one, which still has some heavier rain pockets embedded. There's Sandy, heavier rain just to your south and just off to the east of the city. Downtown Portland so far holding dry, but we had some rain in the city back in the 4 o'clock hour this morning. So showers or on again, off again rain is in the forecast. Temperatures trying to get up to about 60 degrees. We do have a thunderstorm threat today we're watching. Tomorrow, no rain, no storm threat, rain at times. Could turn out to be steady rain much of your Sunday.
Oh yes, we have Taylor Swift in the news again because the woman is still breaking records.
Wow.
She makes records to break records, I think is how this works. So here's the deal. It has been 1 week since Taylor released her new album, and yesterday, The Life of a Showgirl surpassed the 3.5 million units mark. That represents, by the way, both sales and streaming. So that makes it the biggest first week numbers ever recorded for an album. It passes Adele's 25, which was released 10 years ago in 2015. The #1 track from Taylor's album, The Fate of Ophelia, has also broken Spotify's record for most streams in both a single day and in a single week. Making records so she can break some records.
Yes,
Taylor Swift.
Impressive she is.
I ate a donut just before doing all that. I mean, I think you guys are aware of that. So now I'm hoping one of the two of you will jump in because
anyway.
Oh, I don't have anything. Do you have anything to do, Corey? Drew, please take over the show.
I need to grab a little bit of water is all I'm saying, guys, please.
All right, I'll do it. I'll go. Here I am. I'm going to save Drew. I'm over here at the weather wall. We've got rain moving south to north up the area. So far, it's been a far wetter morning on the east side of I-5. We've had lightning strikes down around Roseburg, but not to the north so far. We are tracking an ongoing thunderstorm threat that's actually a possibility into this evening. So right now, again, including the coast, pretty quiet morning. Here's the big chunk of rain. This is east of 205, so raining pretty good out in Sandy right now, and then obviously up Welch's, and there's Troutdale now getting some rain and into the west part of the gorge. Our state capital, lots of clouds, but right now being reported as dry, 51 degrees. Here's downtown Portland looking off to the east, I believe, from the Wells Fargo camera. And you can see the clouds lowering where there's rain looking out that direction, as we just saw on radar. 52 is the number out at PDX. So it's kind of an on-again, off-again rain day, but maybe if you live in Forest Grove, for example, you don't get much rain today. Maybe if you live in Sandy and even Gresham, you get several shots of rain coming up. Temperatures get up to about 60 degrees. I don't think there's a lot of rain at the coast today either. So if your plans have you at the beach, take a rain jacket. Certainly a scattered shower chance, but maybe not that wet. And then by the time you get out into Baker City and LeGrand, it's expected to be partly sunny and dry much of the day, allowing temperatures to get up into the 70s. Here's our 7-day forecast. So today, rain at times, a storm threat. Tomorrow, just rain at times, no thunder and lightning threat. Sunday is looking like it could turn out to be steady rain from mid-morning through the afternoon. And then right now, after a Monday shower chance, we open up dry weather on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that is your forecast.
All right, thank you, Rod. Well, we're continuing to follow developing news this hour of a shooting in southeast Portland that happened this morning. It happened just after 7 a.m. near southeast 127th and Stark.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has been live on the scene for the past 30 minutes. So, Thomas, what do we know right now?
Well, guys, police are continuing this investigation out here on Southeast Stark, but they tell us that one person was shot. They've been taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. I want to step off camera here, show you a little bit more of what we're seeing. You can see that brown paper bag just on the sidewalk. Police tell us that's actually a medical bag from when they were working on the man before transporting him to the hospital. We also spoke to a witness out here who says they saw two people arguing on the other side of the street when they heard 2 shots fired. The shooting, they say, was on a staircase over on the other side of the street. One man was hit in the leg and then ran across the street. We believe that is the man who was then taken to the hospital by police. Southeast Stark here, traffic is moving. It's not really much of a slowdown here. Of course, you can see one lane here on our side of the street is blocked off, but besides that, it seems like it might be another one on the other side of the street, but traffic is moving on both sides. Portland police still have a few officers out here investigating, but they tell us once again this is not fatal. The man is in the hospital, though, as they work on his injuries. Guys?
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us there in Southeast Portland this morning. Thank you. Also this morning, we're continuing to follow the ongoing legal battles over the deployment of the National Guard in Portland as tensions rise between federal and local leaders.
Yesterday, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals heard arguments over whether 200 Oregon National Guard members can be deployed to Portland. But as of this morning, the judges on the panel have not yet made a decision. Meanwhile, a federal judge in Chicago did grant a temporary restraining order blocking the deployment of National Guard troops in Illinois for 2 weeks. The judge called Homeland Security's narrative of what's happening, quote, simply unreliable. During a cabinet meeting at the White House, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem reaffirmed her position about sending troops to Portland and Chicago, and she also threatened to expand ICE operations and the presence of federal officers if local officials don't cooperate.
If we have to do it the hard way in Portland and Chicago, we will.
Meanwhile, Oregon senators are pushing the feds for answers on how federal agents are dealing with protests. KGW's Alma McCarty explains.
2 weeks after several Oregon lawmakers toured Portland's ICE facility in South Portland, renewed demands for answers. One of the legislators calling for them, Senator Ron Wyden.
My view is this Trump unilateral action is an abuse of executive authority. He is clearly hoping that he can incite violence and undermine the constitutional balance of power between the federal government and our states.
The follow-up questions spelled out in letters to top officials concern detainment and processing here, access to counsel in immigration hearings, and the tactics used by the Federal Protective Service, something protesters tell us they've experienced firsthand.
The only time I felt unsafe is because there was an ICE officer pushing me out of the way, pushing other people, arresting people for doing absolutely nothing.
Some of the inquiries directed to Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem ask what type of munitions are used against demonstrators, when do agents engage with them, and what kind of criteria is used to make these determinations.
In the morning and in the afternoon, the ICE agents barely went out. You know, you only see like 1 or 2 times when they come out in the entirety of the day. And then the sun sets, 9 o'clock hits, it's dark, there's a lot more people here, and they suddenly get super aggressive. They're spraying people with mace for absolutely no reason. They're just completely amped up.
To counter a national narrative that the city is in some way a war zone, some have turned to humor.
Our town's not on fire. Nothing's blowing up. So that's just ridiculous statements, and the best way to combat that is to come down here and be ridiculous.
The costume demonstrators who were out in force Thursday night still focused on a serious message.
I'm here for our neighbors. I know this is a crazy guise, but we're here at the ICE facility because we just need an end to this, and we've seen too much violence in our neighborhoods.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
And make sure to stay with KGW for the latest updates surrounding Portland's ICE facility and the National Guard. Look for the latest on KGW.com, on our mobile app, and right here on our free TV app, KGW+.
The Multnomah County District Attorney says 2 Portland police officers were justified during a September shooting. The officer shot 30-year-old Brian Velasco Ruelas after police say he threatened gas station workers with a gun. Body cam video showed him reaching into a vehicle before the officers opened fire. Ruelas survived. He does face multiple charges, though, including 4 counts of attempted murder.
Well, World Homeless Day was yesterday, and to raise awareness, the Portland Rescue Mission CEO is spending 24 hours on a bench in Old Town. Aaron Holcomb interviewed everyone from local leaders like Police Chief Bob Day to curious neighbors throughout the day.
Everyone is someone's child. Everyone has a unique story to tell. So if we can get past some of those assumptions that we make about, those people, that problem, and start to see them person by person, I think that's where we really start to see people experience the support and help that they need to make a big change.
And those conversations are being live streamed on the Portland Rescue Mission's YouTube page right now. The goal, they say, is to create a space for honest conversations about homelessness, recovery, as well as hope. Now, this is all part of a nationwide effort with nearly 100 mission CEOs across the country also taking a seat at benches. Now, for more resources, check out portlandrescuemission.org.
All right, we're going to have Rod Hill's full forecast after the break, and we're also going to have this story about a Portland Classic getting a major facelift. We'll take a look at what's new inside Memorial Coliseum.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, we're getting a sneak peek at some of the renovations made at Memorial Coliseum. The building underwent its first major upgrade since it first opened way back in 1960. Some of the new features include new seats, refreshed colors, and new handrails.
A lot of them are fan-facing, and then some of them are back-of-house kind of mechanical systems and things that the building desperately needed. The seats and the changing of the sort of design and color scheme in the bowl is probably the most immediately striking thing, I think, for folks, and it's going to be really well received.
Of course, the Portland Winterhawks play almost all of their home games at the Coliseum, and it also hosts a number of other events throughout the year.
Well, the Portland Trail Blazers' potential new owner, Tom Dundon, says he plans to buy the team without funding from Panda Express co-owners Andrew and Peggy Churn. Now, this comes as a lawsuit from Raj Sports claims the Churns broke an agreement to invest with them. Now, court documents also show the sale likely won't close until March, meaning ownership could change mid-season. Now, it's still unclear exactly how Dundon's decision will affect the ongoing legal battle. Andrew, if you didn't already know, tonight the Blazers kick off. I'm sure you did. You didn't know, or you did? Did you know?
Finish the statement. I'll tell you if I knew or
not. Oh, the Blazers. I thought you could read it. The Blazers kick off their first preseason game at home, and as fans walk into the Moda Center, they'll pass by some new artwork as well.
See, I didn't know that before the day started.
Okay.
But you did mention it to me earlier, so now I do know. And there's a lot I do know now because you were here telling me about these things.
There you go. See, the more you know.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about Devin Haskins, who has more on the new set of murals at the arena and the artist behind them.
Outside Moda Center, bright colors bloom across the bare walls. Artists tracing their heritage with each stroke of a brush or hiss of a spray can.
This is my actual first one on a wall.
Layers of colors represent their culture.
As a Plains Indian, roses represent resilience, growth, beauty, strength.
Malcolm Weaselboy is a member of the Chippewa Cree tribe. Raised in Montana, he moved to Portland when he was 10 years old.
I remember when this was the Rose Garden, I used to come here and, watch monster trucks, watch Blazers game, watch the Portland Fire.
The Portland Trailblazers asked him and 6 other artists to interpret what roses mean to their roots.
You can cut a rose down, but a couple months later and come back twice as strong.
Malcolm jumped at the chance.
It means so much being able to, and just right in front of the Moda Center it's a huge blessing, and I'm grateful to be part of it.
The art project, painted on what the organization calls the Wiggle Wall.
It is the Wiggle Wall, yeah. It's a little wiggle wall.
Is called Roots to Roses.
Roots to Roses really came to life to celebrate Portland's rich diversity and resilience within its communities, highlighting the historical ties and roots and cultural blossoms just like roses.
Just feet away from Malcolm Christian Tejas uses spray paint.
I believe the Latin American culture, Mexican in specific, we are color.
Bright colors representing his Hispanic culture.
So it's showcasing like a bunch of roses, made it part of different colors as everybody are.
He, like Malcolm, was excited to share his story.
So when I have the chance to put my artwork in a place that there's a lot of people going to see it, I feel the need to kind of like present something that make me proud.
And for Malcolm, he says it's helping him feel more confident.
And I've always been kind of self-conscious about my art, so this is my opportunity to put myself out there and become more of an artist.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
All right, lots of activity there in the Rose Quarter area. The next couple of months, of course, the Blazers kick off their real season, not the preseason, the regular season here in about 2 weeks.
I feel like there could be real excitement this season if they continue to take a step like they did last year. They played better last year. We got the big rookie, our first-round draft pick. I think people are anxious to see. So
I think it's a deep roster. I mean, I think they have 10 legitimate players who can play in the league. But sometimes you need 2 or 3 superstars to be really competitive.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, here's a look at, I think I'm starting with the radar and the big low pressure center offshore. It's important to note that this low sits out here all day today, gives us a south to north flow. So everything coming at you rain-wise today will be arriving from the south and moving up to the north. That's a pattern of instability for us. That's why we have a chance of thunderstorms in the forecast all the way through this evening. Now tomorrow, the low weakens and pushes inland. That switches the flow to the west. That's more stable. So no storm chance tomorrow. The only chance of thunderstorms is today. Tomorrow, just passing rain. Now, so far, we've had lightning strikes. You see them pop, 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 pop down around Roseburg, but that's been it. We had this heavier rain that's moved through Marion County, Clackamas, and up into Multnomah County, generally on the east side. That's now just light to pockets of moderate rain. Still raining pretty good in Sandy. And now picking up some of this rain down in Gladstone and Oregon City and Canby. And it looks like we could get some of this light rain anytime now, starting to move up into downtown Portland. Futurecast shows that bit of rain, mostly downtown to east side. Here's more of a scattered pattern later today. And this evening, see the spotty bright colors? Chance of a thunderstorm, even this evening. I mean, that's at 10 p.m. Overnight, the chance of any thunder and lightning ends. Tomorrow, the rain will be arriving from the west, more typical for us. Again, no storm chance and some dry breaks tomorrow, so kind of passing rain like we'll see today. Sunday, it's all different because here's early morning at 8 o'clock. Now watch it at noon, watch it at 5 p.m. That's widespread steady rain. And the bright colors, I don't think there's a thunderstorm chance Sunday, but there certainly could be some heavier rain rates mixed in. And I didn't really point out, but did you see the bluish purplish tones over the Cascades? Snow levels could go as low as about 4,500 feet over the Cascades on Sunday. Now that would impact Willamette Pass, Santiam Pass. Government Camp would be still wet, but that bears watching. And if you're traveling over the Cascades Sunday, make sure you get yourself an updated forecast and be prepared for what you could be driving into. Haven't said that yet this fall. Now I have. All right. 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain is what the modeling is showing for the coast and the valley through it all. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. Pretty good bet you folks will see some rain pass through your day as well. Right now you're dry, mostly cloudy, no wind, 63 degrees. The coast could actually be one of the drier spots today. Here's Lincoln City from Chinook Winds Casino Resort at 51. Mostly cloudy. A shower threat at the coast, just not expecting much rain. And out in the reserve, a far drier day expected than, say, out in Gresham today. All right, temperatures, low 50s, Kelso down to Eugene, also up in Seattle, 7-day forecast. Rain at times, passing, thunderstorm threat. Tomorrow just rain at times. Sunday could be steady rain. Showers linger Monday, all dry after that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, it's birthday time, and we start off with Jordan, who is 3, with his dog, and out there on the sand, it looks like. Happy birthday to you. We haven't had triplets in a while. We have them today. What a fun picture. Zachary, Samantha, and Ethan in Ridgefield, all dressed up for their photo op there. Good looking. 15 today. Happy birthday. Clara, happy birthday to you as well. Thumbs up there. And we've got Julie, who's 84 today. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day with your friends and family. And Brick Street, who I'm told was a teacher back in the day, is 85 now. Brick you send us the same photo every year. Brick's been on our show for like 20 years. Brick, give me a new picture. But still, happy birthday. Birthday's at KGW.com. I remember a brick every year. All right, that's our party.
All right, thanks, Rod. Well, this week is Community Impact Week for United Way of the Columbia Willamette, and they're helping 30 nonprofits throughout the week with hundreds of volunteers. At Fosterful, a group that supports foster children, volunteers spent the day sorting Halloween costumes that were donated by local businesses and groups. And at Schoolhouse Supplies, volunteers also went through book donations that will ultimately end up in the hands of local school teachers.
They often have to go buy stuff for their classroom, which I think is crazy. So it is nice that they can just come here and pick stuff up, because that's definitely a challenge. They have to take their own time, their own money to make their classroom super cute and have everything that their kids need.
And plenty of volunteer opportunities are still open today and tomorrow. For more details, check out unitedway-pdx.org.
A little update here on our KGW Great Toy Drive. It doesn't start for a few weeks, but now is the time to sign up to help us collect toys this year. We're looking for local businesses, local organizations, anyone who's throwing a holiday party. All of you can help us out by signing up to collect. Just go to kgw.com/toy, and when you sign up, we will send you the official Great Toy Drive collection kit.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Quick recap of this morning's top local stories. A 3-judge appeals court panel is deciding whether or not President Trump can deploy the National Guard to Portland. We're still waiting on a ruling from the judges who heard arguments from both sides of this debate yesterday. The state of Oregon says the president is overstepping his authority with his deployment order. Meanwhile, the Trump administration says when a federal judge blocked his deployment orders last weekend, she improperly second-guessed the president's military decisions. Vancouver's Discovery Middle School was briefly put in secure mode yesterday morning. School officials say a student reportedly threatened staff and may have had a knife. Officers quickly separated that student from the rest of the school. Authorities say no weapons were found. Starting Monday, the Broadway Bridge in downtown Portland will be closed to all vehicles for 6 months. Crews are going to replace the bridge's decking. Portland streetcar will also be rerouted, but the south sidewalk of the bridge is going to stay open for pedestrians and cyclists.
All right, weather-wise, we have the rain right now. It's moved into the I-205 area, Oregon City, Gladstone, raining out towards Sandy and up through Troutdale. Everybody has an ongoing rain chance with a thunderstorm threat today as well. The wetter of the 2 weekend days looks to be Sunday.
And before we go, here's a few looks or a few of our favorite moments from the week. Check it out.
That was
bam. I love it. All right. Now later today, you know, you gotta get rid of some of the clothing. short sleeves, maybe roll them up. It's going to be 76. All right, Chris, back to you.
Stay tuned in the next half hour. The tie comes off. You may not want to tune in after that.
Do you remember the day that I scared China Green, even though I told her I was going to scare her and she was still scared?
Yes.
I'm sure that wouldn't work with Corey Johnson, right?
Not a chance.
Nope. Oh my God.
Wow. We have a complaint.
Uh-oh.
It's too bright. I can't see.
Well, I think my shirt is covering up my bicep. I can feel it's large, but because of the shirt, you really can't see it, Drew.
Again, Rod, it's 503-226-50. Oh, jeez. I was wondering. We've only been saying this text line for about a decade. And this guy over here, I bet you his list of people he loves and cares for is very small. It's a short list, and he still finds it to be a struggle.
Well, I guarantee you I'm on it, and you're not. Oh, I'm sorry. Shots fired.
You're probably right.
I mean,
I'm not on your list.
Guarantee might be a strong word. All right, here's a look at our satellite.
All right, that wraps up a Friday show.
Oh, yeah.
Friday Sunrise show. It was cool hanging out with you for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
How about this guy?
Thank you.
He's not bad.
He's great.
No, I really enjoyed having you here this week. Seriously.
So I'm off next Friday. Are you in that Friday?
I think so.
Okay, so there you go. You will get more Corey Johnson. China Green's back on Monday. Rod Hill, of course, he's always here.
I'm always here. Wow.
We'll see you all on Monday morning. Until then, have a great weekend, and thanks for watching us right here on KGW Plus.